So I'm doing some sigil magic. Now that one is for a good friend of mine, and I sent it earlier actually, and it is to bring just that bit extra money in a channel where it could be received. We'll see how that one goes, but I'm going to do a bit of a working and probably deposit it in the ground or under some of the bushes. The penny is an old Victorian one. I've got loads of those. Well, you know, probably about 20. And yeah, that's kind of the offering to the numinous, if you like. Most people contact me when the stakes are real and the situation matters. My strategic spell workings are designed to shift the pattern around that situation and bring the results that you need. Run your case past me via the contact link in the description below. So I'll either bury it over there in undergrowth or deposit it in the roots of one of those trees. We will see once I've done the actual working. So I'm doing this out in the countryside at the Devil's Punchbowl, not far from village of Croxton, South Norfolk. It's actually the summer solstice, and this is just like a really peaceful place, as you can see. Birds singing, nobody around. Some interesting cloud formations, which is almost, this being the Devil's Punchbowl, you could almost see that as a fallen angel or whatever springs to mind. Okay, so yeah, that's now done, and we'll see how that one goes. The sigil to bring in that little bit extra money for a certain person, and we'll see. But yeah, with that, I tend to use the sigil magic, the unconscious method. I'm sure other people use it too. I mean, I just dreamed it up, but I'm sure others have. And so instead of the conscious method, where you set your intention, write it down, maybe discard duplicate letters, vowels, that kind of thing. Whereas my method is basically automatic drawing. Have the intention, paper, and it's very kinesthetic body, and let your body wisdom do it. So just hold there. I use fountain pen and just await the moment while running the intention, not necessarily it's like an affirmation, but seeing it and feeling it, and then slowly your hands start moving. So automatic drawing. Whereas, because a lot of this stuff is the old spiritual ways, go back to Victorian times or up to 1920s, 30s, that kind of, era. And there was a lot of it, automatic writing. Someone would channel the spirits. So, often it was the dead. And, automatic writing. The hand starts moving, and sometimes there was reams of it. Automatic drawing, maybe a bit less known, but obviously, it's drawings, or, sigils, whatever comes out. I'm not, channeling the dead spirits or anything else. For me, it's the subconscious, the deep self. So you've got imagination at the top level. Just think of what you did yesterday, kind of imagine, that's you imagining. It's memory, but your imagination giving it, making it a mental movie. But get deeper and deeper, and then it's the wild places, of dreams, the subconscious deep self. So that's what I do if it's automatic drawing. I've never done automatic writing. I do enough writing as I've written books, so I'm not going to do any more, am I? Even if it is, a spirit or something doing the work, I'm still not going to do it. But arguably, of course, there are some it all depends on your position, what paradigm of reality you hold, or which paradigms. You know, some would say it's all basically subconscious, it's a deep well, and you know, the spirits, ghosts or whatever that, you know, channel is actually from the subconscious. But in the end, we actually don't know. You know, I mean, there's the whole thing of trying to figure things out, you know, or even prove stuff, but you actually can't. I don't think we ever will, and I don't think there's much point worrying about it or even trying. Just do it. You know, you can think and think and think about stuff. We can just do it, you know. It's like, you know, you can analyse till the cows come home. Come on, just do it. Yeah, just do it. I think that's the better way, because you won't have answers, because you're talking, you know, last night and with someone, and then she was sort of saying, well, we don't know where we come from. And of course we don't. You know, some people say, well, I come from bloody Southend, don't I? You know, in Essex. Well, yeah, okay, fair enough. But what she meant is like, where do whatever we are actually come from? You know, you could say parents and all that, but it's like, you know, where? And when you actually think about that, we have not got a clue. And if you think of it as a species, you know, you've got all the evolutionary stuff, you've got anthropology, you know, yeah, all of that. You've got sciences, archaeology and stuff, but there's still no, you know, where do we come from? There's the idea, you know, from like the Homo sapiens, from the Cro-Magnon, Neanderthals, bit of that, and I forget, Devizonian or something like that, and there's Homo erectus, you name it, and it all nicely fitted together with still some mysteries. But yeah, it's like, who knows? It may not be absolutely the case, you know. So where the hell do we come from? But then, of course, you have to ask what actually are we? If you stay material, then, you know, you're basically, it's a random thing. You're made up of cells, molecules, atoms, and material. And then basically you die, and that's it, you know. You know, even though there's sort of loads of ideas about reincarnation and stuff and afterlife, but, you know, but in the end, you can't answer any of these things. You know, I know some people say, I've seen it and I've been to the afterlife and all that. You know, but again, it's true for them. They believed the visions they had. And it's, again, you know, I don't know, as yesterday I was saying, you know, about, asked, I forget really, do I believe, maybe it was believe in a creator deity, and I'm like, well, first off, I don't believe in anything. I don't do belief. I don't believe in belief. And the reason for that is the moment you believe something, you're stuck on that paradigm, that model of reality. And if it changes, you're you know, far less likely to think, okay, it's all changed, we move forward. So yeah, I don't do belief at all, you know, because it basically keeps you stuck and holds you back. I mean, fair play to anyone who believes in something they do all their life. Well, you know, it worked for them. But actually, I will add to that, though. Yeah, I don't do belief. I don't believe in belief. Neither believe nor disbelieve anything. But utilise belief. Use it. I use it as a fuel to power the engine that gets things done. So I could take on a belief for a while. It might be a couple of days, a week. It's usually not that long. A couple of weeks. You know, I mean, I couldn't really take on, say, Christianity or something like that, because, you know, it doesn't hold enough, you know, enthusiasm or interest for me. But, you know, I'll just take on a paradigm, you know, like simulation hypothesis. I'll go with that and get into that, and, or something else. You know, I've got a new one coming, which is to do with classical Newtonian physics and the quantum realm. And actually, it's not far off what the scientists are saying. So, you know, so that holds a lot of enthusiasm. So as a model for reality, I'll be using that as a belief. But you can literally take on whatever belief will work for you. But the secret is not to hold on to it, is to think, oh, okay, you know, done with that and move on. And one of the ways of, I mean, I don't know, you don't really need to do it when you're dropping a belief, but if you're doing magic, then traditionally in the West, a lot of people do the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, which is a good one, but to me it's just, again, use your imagination and put on the white coat of a scientist and become an atheist. That's all nonsense, gone. And that's your banishing ritual. It's gone. It really is, you know, that's a good one. I'd recommend it, but it's not for everyone. Some people prefer the sort of ritual thing, whereas I'm like, no, let's do it in 3 seconds, you know.